Welcome back, it's Matt with BleepinJeep.
And Josh.
In the last video, we got the Toyota. This is my dad's Toyota. We got it completely stripped down. Today we're gonna continue stripping the parts that we stripped off of it and putting things back together. But first, Josh didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so we need to wake him up. I thought the best way to do that would be a little challenge.
Like a race.
So we have a barrel race. We have 1, 2, 3 tires, the finish line. What's your choice of racing apparatus?
I'm gonna choose this stallion right here.
All right.
The Pro Lift.
So Josh has to sit on this stool and also carry around this vacuum. I have to take the tool cart with all the tools and get all the tools across the finish line. Who do you think's gonna win?
I get a seat.
We thought about this and we thought, well, with the seat, it's gonna be a blowout. So we added that as a handicap. Are you guys ready? Let's see. On your mark, get set, go!
Those were my deployable weapons. Spike strips.
All right, let's get started building this Toyota. Wake up, Josh. There's a...
Wake up.
There's a stairs right there.
Somebody put a spiral staircase in the middle of a shop.
If you guys have been longtime viewers, you know that I have replaced the bearings on the axle shaft, the rear axle shaft of my Tundra. So when we pulled this apart with the 91 pickup, it was very similar. Let me show you a tool. This is a custom tool that I made. If you want to see how that's made, go check out that video. It was, I think in 2016 when I did that and replaced the bearing on the Toyota. But basically this tool comes in really handy. You can buy these, but they're $300 or $400. I just made this one. And what it does, let's pull these. I had to modify the holes for the pickup as opposed to the Tundra, but the same tool is going to work. This slides down, sits on there, then you put the nuts back on. You put this in a press, so the press is going to sit here and you're going to be able to press. Basically the axle shaft separates from all of the brake hardware.
He's still out of breath.
I know. I still haven't caught my breath from our barrel race. I was too out of breath. I forgot there was a snap ring down here. That probably wouldn't have worked out very hot. Ow! Ow! I just hit myself in the head with the brake tool, with the tool. Ah. What is it with us hitting ourselves in the head today? So this is a bummer to get off of there. Since I told Josh it took me 30 minutes to get it off of here, he's going to prove me that he can do it faster. I sure hope that new kit comes with a new one.
I do too, because I'm destroying this one.
The way this works, you're going to feed this up through. So without that tool, there would be no way to press this out of here. Okay, what you want to do is take a box or something, put this under here, because that's going to pop out pretty quick. You also need a little bit of leverage. go. There you are, one axle shaft. Alright, so let me show you why we're doing this. The first reason is to change the seal, which is right there. And then the second reason is we want to change the bearings while we're in here. So here's the collar, that's what holds everything in beyond that clip, that retaining ring. So there's the collar. There's the bearings, there's the seal. We got to press out the bearing, remove the seal, and one of these packages has all of that ready to go back in. The main thing is just to kind of keep all this stuff in order so you remember where it came from. Okay, so now we need to press this out. It's kind of loose in there. Not a whole lot of pressing involved. And then this was like this on the other side. So, you got that?
Got it.
Like that, with that in between. Like I said in the last video, I don't know how to do all this stuff, but if you put it back together the way you took it apart, it usually works, right?
Usually.
While we're in here as well, we also got new brake shoes and new wheel cylinders. That spring doesn't look as nice as the other one. I bet you that's aftermarket. Another thing I like to do, especially with drum brakes, is to take a picture of that to make sure that we get everything back in the same place. I've taken these apart in previous years, before cell phones even were around, and then you're like, wait a minute, where did that little piece go? Or that little piece? There's all kinds of little pieces of metal in here, and springs and little doodads. And if you don't take a picture of that, you might not remember where it went. Here's one of these tools that can be overlooked in a shop, and that's just a parts washer. You can get these at Harbor Freight for like, I don't know, what are these, 120 bucks or something?
Yeah, they're not that bad.
They're pretty cheap. And you put cleaner in here, degreaser, and watch as this thing just eats away at that. Where'd my brush go? I took it with me and lost it. Look at the difference. Just a little bit of cleaning made, just a couple of minutes with that parts washer. One brand new looking axle shaft. Are you losing parts over here?
Nope.
I saw you looking on the ground over there.
Yeah. I sent an E-clip flying.
Look at that little tiny thing. You found that on the ground?
I found it.
Oh man. Alright, so tip number 2 for you. We're using 2 different workbenches to do this so that we don't get the parts and pieces mixed up. If you don't have the space, I would just recommend doing one at a time. But we're waiting for some brake hardware to come in the mail today, so we don't have that. What other tips you got for you? How about this tool?
So this is a pair of brake pliers. They're real useful for taking springs off. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it to work at all on the ones I took apart.
But you don't have to use those tools. You can use other tools. What kind of tools you got that you're going to use?
So flathead screwdriver, another flathead screwdriver, another flathead screwdriver.
That's a lot of flatheads.
Some needle nose. I had another pair
and
of pliers.
I saw you using these as a hammer.
Yeah, knock the bearing out.
Makes a good hammer. So basically, you're just going to take these springs out first, right?
First, I'm going to adjust the adjuster
down so that it shrinks everything.
Yes.
So this adjuster right here adjusts your brakes in and out to make them tighter
on the drum. You normally do that on the car through that hole right there using it's called a spoon, but you can use a screwdriver.
I usually eat soup with my spoon and use a screwdriver for my brakes.
You just pry it and it'll turn that adjuster.
So that's to get everything set right, but right now we're just taking stuff apart. So you're just going to adjust that down to shrink everything to help ease the tension on the springs.
Yep, you screw it in whichever way that is. Turn it the wrong way for a little bit and then I'll turn it the right way.
That's usually the way it works in the car as well. Alright, adjuster screw is all the way down. What's your next step here?
I'm going to take the hold down springs off. Now there's a tool for this too that fits over them and you just push in and turn. We don't have one here, so I'm just going to try and use fingers.
Ouch. No wonder your hands are so beat up all the time.
That's why they're so tough.
I'm going to get online and order one of those tools right now. Look at that. Must have strong fingers. Strong fingies. Okay, so that kind of is just a hold down clip to hold the brake shoes. Now what's next?
Next, I'm going to send this E-clip flying across the shop. Next, I'm going to go ahead and get this guy loosened up. Need a better tool.
Okay, we're just going to get that out off camera. Because it's taking 3 years.
3 hours later.
Next thing is...
Wait a minute, how did you get that off? Did you just, with a wish and a prayer?
Spread it apart with 2 of the flatheads.
We don't have any more of those.
It squeezes back together. Next part's easy. And then normally this is where these would come in handy. You just find a way to get on your spring and pop the spring back. These springs are really stiff and this doesn't work for that on these particular brakes. So what we're going to do is just pull this whole thing off and it'll be easier to get the springs off there.
They do make tools for that as well.
Now that's off. Pry the spring up out of here.
Oh man, did everybody else have their eyes squinted like me? Okay, alright. Now, we're going to give this a little clean in the parts washer. We're going to replace the brakes when those come in onto this hardware and reinstall the same way that we took it apart. Right?
Yeah, just
anything
backwards.
Else?
Nope.
Okay, that's the goal. That's the plan. We're also going to change these out as well. Everyone wants to know what the lunch lady has in store today.
Leftovers.
Oh man.
Just kidding, that's mine. I get leftovers.
Why do you get like 2-week-old leftovers?
They're not 2-week-old leftovers, they're just leftovers.
What do you really have for us?
Quesadillas.
I love quesadilla day.
No, they're pork.
Look at that. And you got guac too? Homemade guac?
Yeah.
The puppies are hoping that we have some for them. What do you think, buddy? Ah, check this out, guys. We got a surprise box. I got this because Colt had one on the Ultimate Adventure, and it really came in handy, and I wanted to show you guys this. We also got a discount coupon code for you guys. But let me show you how it works first. So this is the Easy Flate system, and it allows you to air up very, very fast. So whenever we were on Ultimate Adventure, we were always the first guys aired up. So this, coupled with the power tank, is a huge time saver. Josh,
You got a black duck?
I got you a duck.
Yes.
There you go. Your first ever duck.
My first ever duck. Never had a duck before.
Let me show you how this works. This is the power tank. This is the power tank cord. And if you don't know what the power tank is, you should really get one of those as well, because it comes in handy a lot for inflating tires, but also air tools on the trail. But it's really fast, so there's 800 psi in here, and we can inflate our tires at very fast. I really like these valves because they can just push right on. So you just push it on there and it clamps on. So that's going to equalize all the pressure between the 4 tires. Alright, so all your tires are at 13.8 psi. To inflate them, we're just going to pull up on that. We're going to let it inflate for a couple seconds, and then to check it, we're going to pull down, let it equalize again. Now we're at 15. So it's very quick. Once you get it hooked up, you can inflate your tires super quick. And with Colt and I both doing this, we were going from about 10 psi to 25, and we did that probably in 2 minutes.
On a set of 40s.
Yeah, on a set of 40s. 20 already. Josh has the 10-pound power tank, but for the S10 we knew that we were going to be going for a whole week, so we got the 15-pound power tank, and that lasted us airing up every day for 7 days. So we went a whole week on the 15-pound power tank, and he still had leftover, airing up a 40-inch tire 7 times. So once we're done with that, you can also air down your tires. If you want to air down your tires all at the same time, you just put the same thing on, let the air out, check it, continue airing down, check it. And then Josh mentioned a minute ago, if you want different pressures in your tires, let's say you want more in the front tires, you would just take off the rear tires, and it blocks that, and then it's just going to send that to the front tires. Alright, I've pulled these little guys off. These are just some sort of shielding, dust shield for the engine bay. I don't know what they're made out of, but they're almost like a vinyl material, but maybe rubberized. We're going to clean these up, make sure that they're nice and clean. I really doubt you can get new ones of those, but spray a little bit of degreaser on there and hit it with a wire brush. I can't believe that those have lasted this long. My dad really takes care of his stuff. These wouldn't last 2 years on one of my vehicles. While we're waiting for our brake parts to show up, we decided we're gonna punish ourselves. We're gonna do the hardest thing imaginable, and that is change the motor mounts and the transmission mount. Alright, I missed it on camera, but I finally got that thing wiggled out of there. We're going to put a little paint on those guys, let them dry. And while that's drying, guess what? Our brake pads have showed up. There we go, look at that. Just in time. Ouch. I also picked up a new idler arm. The other one was fine, but it was rusted, so we put a new fresh coat of paint on this, and you can see the rubber was kind of getting deteriorated. through the magic of YouTube, it all went back together like a piece of cake. Right, Josh?
Just like cake.
Alright, it's time to mate these two back together. So I've got my old stuff laid out there. I've got my new stuff laid out here. This guy, I'm going to add a little bit of grease to it so it's not dry. Then that goes right in here. Flip this over, and the bearing goes down in here. Okay, I'm gonna lube this guy up real good.
You asked if it was vintage,
What's vintage?
and it came from Kmart, so it is vintage.
Oh, look at that. Vintage leather steering wheel cover. Man. I tapped that down in there for no reason. Then that collar, once we get that pressed down, we've got a new C-clip there. Alright, now is when things get creative. So let me show you how this works. We have to press this bearing onto there along with this collar, so it has to be that height. And then we need to find something though to press against. So you can get creative and use your old bearing and score that out. The reason you have to score that out is so that it won't get stuck on there. But I just happened to find this old bearing laying around, and you can see that it will fit on there. So what you're looking for is something bigger than the inside diameter and smaller than the outside diameter of that last piece, so that it'll shove on there but not get stuck. So we're going to go this, 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 and then put that in the press and shove that all together, and then this piece will slide right back off. So first this piece, then this one, that one, that one, and then press-a-roni. We might need another one of those bearings. We might end up bottoming out right there. Is that gonna work? Guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I think it's gonna wind up hitting that parking brake lever, but we'll see.
Maybe it'll just hit the brakes. I guess we'll know for sure if we can get the clip on. We're stuck.
Hopefully that seal went in right.
It's gonna be tight getting that clip on. Got it.
Went. Awesome.
All right. One down, one to go. Oh, that's heavy.
Feels good.
All right, peeps, we got both of those ready to go. The axle, however, is not. We decided we're not going to put the new seals in until we're ready. So I am making this portion of the video for you guys. If I forget where these are, they're going to be right here. And it's up to you, awesome viewers, to remind me where that little box is a month from now. Alright guys, I'm going to end that video right here. Huge thanks to you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up and leave a comment. That really helps out. If you like watching these videos, consider becoming a Patreon over at patreon.com/BleepinJeep. There, we're going to put the names of all of our Patreon members right here, and you get perks as well. So you get early access to the videos. We go wheeling with our Patreons every once in a while. You get surprises. You get hats, t-shirts, and all kinds of behind-the-scenes content. So make sure to check that out. I'll leave a link below to that as well. We'll see you guys in the next video. Oh.